If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here we have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Glad to be back here this week. We were off for a week, and man, sometimes when you don't do the show, it feels like so freeing and relaxing, and like, oh my god, like what are people that don't do podcasts live like? I don't know.
It's probably a lot more fun watching. It's probably a lot more fun watching TV shows. Probably is. It's like, hey, I just watch this and I have to think about it and talk about it and dissect it the way we do. Not to say that this isn't fun, but you know, it's less time. It's less time of a time commitment. And like, I got to tell you right now, Rich, do you want to guess the last wrestling show I watched was? You want to guess what it was?
Probably the same one that I watched, which was last Wednesday.
I seriously doubt that. Do you want to go back further?
I don't know.
Take a guess.
Let's go 2 weeks ago.
What show would that be?
You know, I'm not sure. It's a Dynamite for sure.
No, the last pro wrestling show I have watched was Double or Nothing.
That's right.
I have not watched 2 weeks or 6 hours of Tony Khan's Wednesday television. Sorry, y'all. Rich got to carry that. So everything that I talk about on this show will be irresponsible. Just know that. Sorry. But
look,
we have a show. We have other things to talk about, and Rich watched all of it. So Rich is here. Rich is the one y'all came to hear and listen and see anyway. So, Rich, where would you like to start?
So I put a little thing in the Discord last week, a fun thing for all the listeners to participate in and get some conversation going in the channel. What I asked, what were the funniest reasons that there was no One Nation Radio this week? And I think everyone delivered. So I don't know if you've seen all these yet, James, but
I saw a few. Of them.
These are pretty funny.
I saw one about I was getting fined. I was like, or I was suspended or something like that. I was like, okay, so I guess I'm Rory or Maul.
So, Brandon says the WWE TKO cuts. Tim Hunter says James wants to finish the Sayori Natsupoi anniversary show first, but they're still singing songs. Tate Casey says One Nation Radio will not record so long as Caitlin Clark is injured. That was a good one. Rambo Slam Pig. Existential malaise triggered by AAA's purchase by TKO. Capture Shea Butter. He says Rich and James are devastated by R-Truth's release, which we'll talk about later.
We will talk about it later.
Sissy Blade says Rich and James are just going to free the AEW men's belt from the briefcase their own damn selves. Screw waiting until July. OG Jimbo Johnson, no One Nation Radio because Rich hit another kid at Taekwondo.
That would be funny. That'd be funny. Like, well, where is he? He's in the Henry County lockup. You get one, you don't get two. The second one they put your ass behind the wall. That would be great.
Heavenly Halbert, James and Rich realized the only good radio and pro wrestling is busted open and left the territory.
Wow. Have you ever listened to a whole episode of Busted Open?
Fuck no.
Well, neither have I. I was just wondering, just curious. So
yeah. At Serious Shea Butter, Liv Morgan shooters finally got at Rich. OG Jimbo Johnson, Alexa Bliss finally won. We got some more.
Here's my question, right? Both of those are the same thing. Like, right? If Liv Morgan has shooters aiming at Rich, then Alexa Bliss definitely has had shooters. Alexa Bliss shooters got to, you know,
that's old country.
They've been trying to get at Rich longer than Liv, way longer, years before.
King of the North, One Nation Radio not live this week because James Boy has been asleep ever since the last recording. Slashed Eyes, no One Nation Radio this week because James is getting hair implants. That did not happen.
Nah, it's funny. I got a story similar to that, right? And Rich, you know me why this is funny. So, like, I want to say maybe the beginning of this year, Caden asked me if I was on steroids, if I was taking steroids, and I laughed at it. It's like
they say you was on that LeBron.
They asked me if I was on steroids, right? So Alex was in town this weekend for Mr. Kimball, Marcus's father. Yep, for a family friend's retirement party / wedding reception. It doubled as both. So one of Rich's best friends and my cousin was down here for it, and he we sit down to
question. Who got married?
Mr. Kimball. He got remarried.
I didn't know this. Move on.
It's so once I heard the story, it doesn't leave you asking questions. It's appropriate because, you know, Mr. Kimball's wife Mary passed a few years ago, so we're not getting to the nitty-gritty, but yeah, none of my business, none of our business will skip past that. None of your business will skip past that. But it's appropriate. I'm leaving it at that. So just don't leave you hanging, Rich. It's appropriate. So move on. So I'm with Marcus and Alex, and I sit down at this breakfast spot, and he says, "I was gonna sit down." He goes, "Jay's like The Rock." I was like, "What? What do you mean like The Rock? I look nothing like The Rock. What about me looks like other than bald and muscles, right?" So, so Rich, so he said something about like how my neck looks different from, like, you can see the clear line between my neck and my traps or whatever else. I look super ripped. I'm like, no, I'm not ripped. I am big and muscular. I'm definitely not ripped. So anyway, Alex asked, you know, he ain't got no home training. The waitress walks up and says, "Hey, I have a question. Do you think he's on steroids?"
God damn it. That's crazy.
So I started laughing, and then she gave an answer like, "No, there is a dude that comes here and is on steroids." And that's the thing, like, people that you see in the gym now, they go out their way to tell you they're on shit now.
They be like, "Hey man, you need to get like this."
They be
you
like,
know, where you
"Yeah,
at?"
I used to bench 400 pounds, whatever else, tore a pec. Yeah, I was on crazy shit. I was like, okay, I didn't ask, but thanks for telling me. So, the waitress walked away. She was being polite, whatever else. And then I said to him, Alex, you realize when you ask a question like that with the person right in front of me, she's not going to give you an answer of whatever her honest answer anyway. She'll be like, oh, of course not. Of course not. Can you imagine someone be like, oh, yeah, he definitely on that shit. No one would do that.
Actually, yeah.
No one would do that.
Yeah, the nigga is kind of looking vascular over there.
Right. No one does that. So the reason why I said that is laughing is, Rich, you know me, I'm not spending money for that kind of dumb shit. Like, no. I'm not flying to I'm going to get on the plane to Turkey. I'm going to go to Boswell. I'm going to buy Rogaine or whatever the fuck it is. No.
There are people talking about plane rides in these upcoming jokes. So
okay.
Sir Sam says no One Nation Radio this week because James did his back end doing Olympic lifts in his daily WOD at the CrossFit gym.
That's funny. It's not a CrossFit gym. There's a carryover, but it's not a CrossFit gym. It's funny because people are like, are there box jumps? Yeah, it's a CrossFit gym. Like, okay, I'm not arguing with you. It's functioning the same thing, but it's not a CrossFit gym. Fair enough.
Tim Hunter says no One Nation Radio this week because Rich went to plant a social suplex flag up on Mount Everest. My God. If I did that shit in a week, I'm the next AEW world champion then.
How long did it take, Darby? I don't remember.
I think like a month and a half or something.
That sounds about right. Because that's normally what it takes, like anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. From what I remember.
Seth Rich Rogan, no One Nation Radio this week because after seeing how much they cost with the tariffs, James is flying over to pick up Nahonian Silks himself. Odd jobs. No One Nation Radio this week in protest of R-Truth and Carlito's contracts not being renewed. Everyone liked that one.
That's
Chris
funny.
Gannon, you lost a bet with the Tonal Talk girls, and the only way you could do an RP episode is if you read out their Hangman Swerve Osprey fan fiction. My God. I don't even want to know where that
you will have to put that behind the paywall.
We're gonna have to create a paywall. Like
that will have to go behind the paywall. Yeah.
No one late before never says
no. Hold on. How do we do that without saying pause AO and that's crazy over and over and over again?
We don't. It would be just that's it. Late before never says no O&R this week because Rich and James are preparing their sets for when they host the roast of All In.
Oh my God.
/size no One Nation Radio this week because they are finalizing signing Leo away from Tunnel Talk.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. I like that one. That's my favorite one.
That was funny. Muzza, no O&R this week is they lost a bet with Tunnel Talk and are still waiting for James to apologize on video about what he said about Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, still gonna be waiting.
Doc says no O&R. I'm not reading his ridiculous name that he has right now, by the way. Doc says no O&R because Rich broke his toe on a 12-year-old's jaw. No O&R because James got lost on the Tam Road.
Oh, man.
Rambo Slam Pig, no O&R because they are on hiatus retooling the show as a SmackDown weekly recap.
We're not going back to those days. We're not going back to 2018. Again. No.
Never again, brother.
Never again.
Hold on. I'm looking for a few more.
And ain't SmackDown like 3 hours now?
Yeah, it is.
No way, brother.
And the Road Dogg is back booking it. That would really be going back to 2018. OG Jimbo Johnson, no O&R this week because Rich and James are 2 of the 8 people going to The Pro Wrestling, which is Kevin Kelly's promotion that he's starting.
I didn't know that. Absolutely not.
And it looks strange.
I am not going to Save the Children Pro. No, I'm good.
Hell no, absolutely not. O&R is canceled this week due to the mourning of another white woman loss. I imagine Mariah May is talking about. So quickly, they gave Mariah May a new name. Have you heard it yet?
Something Monroe. What's the name?
Blake Monroe.
Blake Monroe. So, took a pay cut. Presumably took a pay cut.
Absolutely took a pay cut.
Went to NXT to the smaller show.
Yep.
and has to do a name change.
Yep. You have no history now.
I don't know why these people are doing this in this way.
Barks.
Like, do they not realize that these people want them?
Right.
Like, if you like WWE so much, sure. But, like, keep your name.
No Kej, no O&R this week because James had to travel across the pond to see Windsor versus Shuri and eat the peas and other foods in heavy quotations.
I gotta tell you right now, I'm not flying to Europe for food. That's not a thing. I'm not flying to the UK for food. I'm sorry, it's not a thing. Unless you're sending me to a spot in Brixton. Outside of that, I don't really think so. I can boil the meat here.
No O&R because James is getting deprogrammed.
By who?
From what? I don't know.
Who said this?
97 AKA.
I need some context on who's doing the deprogramming. But
I need some too. So Tay Casey, no O&R this week to mourn AEW being denied a Ron Killings push. Last eyes. No O&R.
Not yet. Hold on. Not yet anyway.
No O&R this week because James got sacrificed by Halliburton.
I mean, that was a possibility.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Tej, no O&R this week because they're busy organizing a simulcast with Wrestling Observer newsletter after they bought the competition.
Could you imagine if we bought Dave Meltzer? No, better yet, can you imagine if Dave Meltzer bought us? That would be funnier. Who are these niggas?
I met Dave, but I don't know if he knows.
I've shook hands with Dave Meltzer before, I believe. But still, that's a white ass establishment over there. No knock against them, not saying anything, whatever. I'm just saying, like, hey, that's not, they haven't, should we be talking about their hiring practices the way we talk about WWE's hiring practices?
I'll say this about F4W. I feel like they're aware of who we are. And if they wanted to change such things, these things may have already happened. So that's where I'm at with it. Nothing but love to those guys, except like the fight game media people who have just completely destroyed that institution. But I'm gonna keep going. No One Nation Radio because Rich didn't want to extend James' contract and James pulled an R-Truth. James already balled.
Yeah.
I think that was the last one, but appreciate everybody coming up with your jokes and telling us why there was no O&R last week. So, yeah, man. So let's get to it, man. Do I want to do this? Like, I want to play the song, and everybody knows what song I'm about to talk about. CM Punk in Saudi Arabia. I don't feel like doing the copyright claim thing. Y'all know the song I want to play. You saw the memes. You saw Busta Rhymes going like this, and this, and this. Imagine it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was announced that John Cena will be going against CM Punk at Night of Champions. And where is Night of Champions being held? That's right. Saudi Arabia. He couldn't even hold out to the Royal Rumble, James. He couldn't even wait till a WrestleMania, James. This man has folded his morals like origami. This man has come out here and said, yeah, I'm going to Saudi Arabia. And I saw a level of crashing out and coping and crying. And I saw generational victory laps all over the last 24 hours of just flat out hypocrite once again, and there was a lot of pulling up the old tweet that he sent to the Miz, the Suck the Blood Money the Saudi blood money covered dick, whatever the phrase was that Big CM used.
Close enough.
I don't think I've seen that tweet as much since. And in Miz's case, in most of the people that work there, like, these wrestlers aren't necessarily deciding, that they have to do those things or whatever. Like, this company started doing this one day and they were like, yo, are you going to be a part of this? There's big money over here. So this is like one more thing at the job that is like, it's a perk and it's probably a burden for some of them, even if they go. And some people keep quiet about it. Some people don't, sell it at all. But this motherfucker, CM Punk, decided, like, yeah, I'm the arbiter of morality. I am the one real person in this business. I am the person that decides, no one else can go, and jumps out on, how he feels about Saudi Arabia very publicly. And a lot of people married themselves to that. And then how they were still married and not seeing this guy's actions leading up since 2023, returning to WWE itself. The shit with AJ Styles that has quote unquote been squashed now, even though he said all kinds of shit about AJ Styles. Yucking it up with Triple H giving him a hug and crying, and the Road Dogg and all these people. Like, this man has sold this stuff up the river way before that match announcement against John Cena in Saudi Arabia. I saw this, I instantly died laughing, and I felt like the humiliation ritual of Phil Brooks continues. Yeah, nigga. Get it in Saudi, nigga. Fold your morals up. Hold the entire front-facing gimmick that you have up, this facade that you proclaimed to be years ago, and we're gonna finish all of that off now. Like, we're gonna send you to a half-baked WrestleMania main event. We're gonna do that. We're gonna have you do the weird, goofy matches with Drew McIntyre at the beginning. We're gonna have you fight Seth Rollins forever until no one fucking cares. Completely neuter you and make you not do a memorable thing. Then we're gonna send you to Saudi Arabia also. And the last thing you were holding on to, knowing that tweet was out there, knowing that this man puts himself as this, this moral, holier than thou person. Well, how about it now? How about it now? This guy is a scammer and a fraudster of a lifetime. This is just how it's been. It didn't take this match getting announced to recognize this. I find it so funny.
So I think the main thing for CM Punk is that all these things were said to make himself look better. It's in life, people say things and then they end up having to walk that shit back, right? That happens in life, quite often with people, right? His problem is he has, as you mentioned, the holier than thou attitude, saying things in a certain way to where it's like, especially when it comes to him trying to distance himself or say or treat himself, he's above other people. Right? So the Miz thing, he could have insulted Miz in a million different ways, but he decided to go with the Saudi Arabia thing. And now, years later, his ass gonna hop on that plane and take his ass and wrestle John Cena in Saudi Arabia. And that's just the thing. Like, he is not necessarily, like, I'm sure he may have even believed it at the time, right? I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's willing to believe that he would never put himself in that situation. But when you on your last strike, you no longer have the leverage. When you overplay your hand, you lose leverage. And he has lost leverage over and over and over because he doesn't know how to behave himself over the last 4 years. 4 or 3 years, whatever you want to call it. And that's how you end up having to walk this shit back. So now you're at a point now where he may have believed that stuff. He would never have done that, or he's above going to Saudi Arabia. But now, when Triple H said, "Hey, CM Punk, can you do something for me? He gonna have to do it.
It's time to put the headdress on, Phil. It's time to mount the camel, sir. This it's time to have the dinner with MBS in Turkey. It's time to share the chicken and the rice and whatever they feast on.
To be fair, if I was in front of MBS, I'm doing whatever he tells me to. So I don't want to, you know.
That's true.
I don't want to.
That's true.
I don't want to, say, I want to do this, Y to Z. No. If I was in front of NBA, I'm doing everything he wants me to do.
That's us. But Big Bad, Big CM, I mean, needs to tell him, you know, Big CM does what he wants. He walks around.
Oh, you think, Big CM's going to walk up and slap MBS in the face?
Well, I mean, if MBS is violating, I mean, this is kind of what Big CM has to do, right?
Yeah,
we're trying to keep it consistent.
You know what? That's it. Him slapping MBS in the face in Saudi Arabia is about as realistic as him walking back to Chicago from Saudi Arabia. Just as realistic. Over the water, walking on the water. That's how realistic that is. So yeah, man, he made his bed and long ago, and all these steps have made it to where now he has to lay in that bed. And I know that bed feels like shit. I feel it's a miserable sleep. A miserable slumber.
I can't wait to see that nigga do a crowd brawl and he brawling in front of them sofas, first row. Like, they took a match. I saw people be like, SummerSlam's right there. Why wouldn't you just do it at SummerSlam? They took this match that some people still care about, right? They sent it to Arabia.
Because they paying for it.
Amazing.
The Saudi Arabian government is paying for that match.
That is so funny.
Remember, you gotta remember, they all they're heavy on nostalgia for them shows. That's why they having the Greatest Royal Rumble. That's why they bring out all the motherfuckers that had the matches. That's why they brought Goldberg and Undertaker out there. That's why they brought Shawn Michaels on a retirement for like $1 million for a match or a tag match. That's the reason why we went out there and brought out that motherfucker, that sumo fighter, because the motherfucker thought it's close enough to Yokozuna. So yes, John Cena and CM Punk at this point in time was 14 years ago. There's definitely nostalgia around it. So yeah, they paid for that match. So he need to take his ass over to Saudi Arabia and have that match. Because I'm pretty sure Triple H didn't even want that for SummerSlam. He was going to do he's going to do Cody versus Cena. And here's my thing, right? I don't know if you got more on this, but I have a perfect dismount for this. So do you want to have more?
Yeah, because the funny thing is, like, he's going over there to lose or whatever. I think it's pretty funny.
He's absolutely going over to lose. Do you want to know? You want to know how he's going to lose?
How's he going to lose?
The Miz is going to make a run in and screw him. Yes.
I need it.
That is my dismount. See, the Miz, he come out there and say, suck this blood. Suck it. Yes. So CM Punk versus Miz, SummerSlam. How you love that?
I would scream. That would be just perfection. I need CM to go over there and you know bring there's one question I have with CM in Saudi Arabia though. We know CM Punk likes the women. We got to keep him. Not us, because we ain't gonna be there. They got to keep this man locked away from the women over there. Like, there's too many potential violations that could be happening over here. So, yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad. And I saw so many people that just couldn't handle it. Just complete meltdowns. There was one girl in my mentions just like. I cleaned her up with one tweet, pretty much. It was like, hey, man, you hurt, you be all right. And she just, it was not good for her, and people on her head. But I wonder what the gear is going. Is he going to drop new Saudi Arabian merch? Is it going to be like, he doesn't normally wear green or anything, but he can figure it out. Is he going to paint up the X's in the Saudi green, like, I wonder what's going to be the joint there.
We'll see. I guess we'll see.
I mean, y'all will see because I ain't watching that shit, but
I'll watch it.
So I find it real funny. I'm just glad that that he gets to be the man who he really wants to be in 2025, free of obligation now, of holding up this fake image. Like, be the man that you are intended to be in 2025, Phil Brooks. How does freedom feel, sir? That's what I'd like to ask.
Well, what I think is funny is like they're gonna go out there and given what John Cena has given us this year, that match gonna be ass,
brother. That's about to be Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior in 1998. Like, this is far beyond the level. These niggas are turning 50. Like, these niggas are 50.
It's gonna be bad. So like, it's gonna be like, oh, so CM Punk goes out there and tarnishes like the magic of John Cena versus CM Punk from 2011 and 12. Great. So glad we can touch that again. And that just follows off of what they just did with Cena and Orton. Like, it is going to, like, John Cena's going back and playing all the hits with all his former, great rivalries that he's had or whatever else. And then like ultimately, or notable rivalries. And ultimately, like, he's basically going to like book or put the exclamation or the period on the punctuation of them all just duds. All duds. This is one of the all-time worst retirement tours so far. Like, we ain't done yet. We'll see where it goes. But like, bro, he's on an all-time run, and I don't mean a good one.
Brewhaven, there is more time between Cena and Punk Money in the Bank 2011 than there is from Hogan Warrior 6 to Halloween Havoc 98. Oh, a lot more time.
Yeah.
It's just time moved slower back then.
Yeah.
Like, time
absolutely right.
Slower back then.
Yeah, like, that's the difference between, because that's 8 years, right?
Yeah.
That was 8 years. Now we talking about,
14,
13 years. Yeah.
Just amazing, quite frankly. And oh man, I wonder who thought of this one. What and I saw so many people shitting down their legs. I don't know if you remember, like maybe a month ago, they did the advertising video for Night of Champions, and
Punk was on there, right?
In it. Yep, and then they put out another version without him in it, and then like they were like, "See, he's not gonna be in it. He's not going to Night of Champions. He's not going to Saudi Arabia, man." Then people got to look in the mirror and realize they master disappointed them again. It must suck. Like it must suck to fall behind Phil Brooks. Like, this is not your big bro. Like, you just gotta let that go, man. He's a man. He's not imperfect. He may have sold it to you that way. He may have used his pro wrestling acumen and his the way he speaks and carries himself. This shit is a gimmick, bro. This shit was fake from the jump. It was fake then. It's fake now.
He's a politician, and like, he's very good at giving you what you want to hear to whatever crowd he's in front of at that time, and then times change, and he changed along with it. Nothing wrong with that, but politician.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, well, I'll say this: what makes him different from it is he comes off as his voice of the voiceless, but politician. It would be less, he would get less shit if he was just the politician, only the politician. Right? Like, people hate Triple H, but they don't come back and be like, you said, he's a total hypocrite. We're like, oh yeah, that's the game. He's always been in it. And hell, that's his nickname. The game.
Yeah. Real funny thing. I saw people posting about Triple H. They had a very bad weekend.
Like, hold on. More comparisons, right? Triple H went out there and just held a belt and had Reigns of Terror, right? CM Punk came in AEW and said, I want to help. I want to work with all the young guys. I'm not even concerned about the belt. He was champion within a year.
Yeah. real funny how all that worked out, man.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it's just like those first 6 months, you'll take those anytime you can get them.
Yeah.
But as soon as Revolution is over,
as soon as that Revolution 2022 ended, yeah.
Like even in the press conference, like I believe Aaron Rotowski pointed this out. He starts crying about Bret Hart not being able to get Saudi Arabia checks or whatever, and like that's weird. Like in hindsight, and now he can get the Saudi Arabia check that his hero never got.
Hey,
best of luck to him.
Do you remember when he cried at the one press conference next to Tony Khan? I forgot which one it was, about Tony Khan person ROH, because he's like, this is the thing I cared about, and then like it's not just going to be a tab on Peacock or whatever else. And now he's like, what do you think the shit you doing is going to be on now? It's going to be on a fucking tab on Peacock, brother.
That was the same press conference. Apparently, they're telling us in the chat.
Oh, really? How about that?
Yep.
How about that?
Yep. Yeah, man. Amazing. CM Punk, it's yours.
Had to walk it back. Had to walk all that shit back.
The world is yours. So, another thing, speaking of walking it back, Ron Killings found a way to enrich himself further in the business of pro wrestling in WWE, and Paul Levesque walked right into this one. So, us not having a show last week actually is beneficial for this story because we didn't have to give our truth is fired takes. People over there, what's up? So, Ron Killings, a few weeks ago, announces that WWE will not be renewing his contract. He will be WWE's letting him go. He's been released from WWE. And he was apparently offered a new deal at a lower rate, and R-Truth, looking at the obvious money that's all around this promotion, looks around like, why would I take less money? And figures it out like, oh, I can just use my likability and my sympathy, and I'll just make a tweet, and let's see what happens. Ron Killings, been in this business a long time, 25 years. Liked by the fan base, entertained people for a lot of years, made them laugh, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people started sticking up for him in the business. A lot of fans on Twitter turned it to a movement, essentially. They were chanting, "We want truth" at the shows. And apparently multiple companies were involved in negotiations with Ron Killings. Whether it was AEW, I'm not sure. It could have been. It could be TNA. Could be, I don't think he's going to New Japan or anything. So I think we're talking about those. And then he turns this.
I'm sorry. No. You just said something that just flashed across my mind, like just envisioning it. R-Truth in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That would have been some of the most minstrelly shit you've ever seen in your life. It would have been bad. It would have been bad. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh no.
So now they have the main event at Money in the Bank. I didn't watch it, but I know what happened. So R-Truth returns in the hoodie, basically Bloodline style with the hoodie, because they have one ending to these things. Rips it off. It's Ron Killings. The crowd loses it. He screws John Cena out of winning. Cody Rhodes beats him. R-Truth cuts a promo the next night. He's back in WWE. There's instant merch for him, but they're calling him Ron Killings. So apparently Triple H made the decision to cut this guy or whatever because TKO was like, yeah, man, who's next, essentially? Who's next for the snip, essentially? They picked this guy. And then never underestimate the power of The Rock. Now, this is One Nation Radio Pyramid here. When Triple H does something and there's a savior to be had somewhere, there's an easy savior you can think of, and it's always Dwayne Johnson. So what happens after that? Nick Khan gets on the phone after Ron Killings repeatedly ignores Paul Levesque's calls, essentially. Nick Khan gives him a new deal, and this guy has a renewed push now, James. He's no longer R-Truth. He goes by Ron Killings, cuts his hair. He's not a comedy character anymore. And he's like a serious like wrestler now. And he has a renewed push now, and he's quote unquote the hottest babyface they have, or one of them. And his segment outrated Punk and Cena or something I heard. So what I've learned in this week or so, look, now I'm not saying The Rock told Nick Khan to do this. Like somebody wanted us to know Nick Khan sewed this up, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Who would that benefit?
Right.
Not Triple H.
Right.
So like there was part of me that was so pessimistic on this. I was like, oh, so they brought him back so nobody would ask about that in the press conference. And the world's dumbest people who don't know how the company they love works were saying, oh, this was a work. This was all this other stuff. Killings' son is on Twitter talking about it's not a work. Killings would have had to have been working a lot of people with this. Kind of an odd way for it all to be a work if he's losing a match to somebody completely unrelated, you know, right. with the Jeff Cobb thing.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. So if all these are works, when does Dolph Ziggler show up?
When does
no. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
When does Jon Moxley show up?
Right. Fuck out of here.
Oh, so
but no, like, Moxley, like his contract just ran out. Like they released Ziggler. Yeah, like when it came to R-Truth, he like, hey, they're not renewing my contract.
So he was like, I'm released.
Yeah, the truth will soon be set free.
Actually, no, it wasn't. They weren't renewing his contract. They were telling him that they were telling him he needs to take a pay cut. They offered him a new deal, but it was at a way lower rate apparently.
Take
So
the pay cut
he basically
for a new deal or get released. That's what it was. Okay.
I don't think it was get released. I think it was, this is what we're offering you. And he was like, nah, okay. Like, and then he came back. Zoomly, he gets a better deal because he comes back after that. So salute to Ron Killings for being, doing some all-time working here. Yeah. At least getting yourself another couple years out of these evil people.
Yeah. O&R. Hey, 2025 O&R for an SO of the Year candidate. Immediately.
Yeah, like I really have no interest in what Ron Killings is, going to contribute to pro wrestling. But we talk about people that are on last runs and stuff. It seems like Ron Killings has figured out the secret. Apparently,
I saw people invoke the name of Brian Pillman. I was like, man, what is going on? This is hilarious. Like, great. So, like in a way, yes, he is Brian Pillman, but like, it's Brian Pillman as if he had like asked for his release from Bischoff and then got hired back by Ted Turner. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's like, and then I saw a picture of R-Truth and Triple H, and it just looks ridiculous. It was like, bro, you wanted to get rid of this nigga, bro. Like, so it's funny, man. And then I saw
people doing all the Bill Simmons, what do you call it, body language doctors for that picture. And I was like, no, everything you're saying is just made up. It's make believe, right? I was like, this is like they're taking a regular picture. Maybe they do hate each other. Maybe not. But at the same time, you can't tell about the picture they're taking. It looks like a normal picture. If you did not know, if you showed it to a regular person, they would not know what the fuck was going on. Stop it.
Killings made it clear, like in his promo, he kept like kind of emphasizing where he was saying, like, don't let them think y'all that they're not listening to y'all, that y'all don't have a voice. So the fans clearly like helped move this along, in one way or another. And this is a thing now with this regime. People that this new set of WWE fans in this modern time, they got attached to was Ron Killings, was R-Truth. It wasn't like, and they were raising hell on this kind of like online hijacking, in arena hijacking, in ways like even the sex trafficking, they don't go crazy for like this. So it's like they are opening the door for this kind of stuff, presumably. Now they're showing they're going to give in.
Well, here's the thing, right? Given how, given where we are with the fandom, with how high the ticket prices are, we're given where AEW success has been, where like that WWE had a group of fans that left to some extent or left completely to this other alternative. So like the people that will normally be the rabble rousers, if you will, in the crowds voting beach balls at WrestleMania, that shit don't happen no more, right? Like they're getting the crowds that they want. So when you get the crowds that you want, and the crowds that you want are now bucking back, it's like, no, forget the whole, loud minority thing. No, people are generally pissed about this now, and you can't say, oh, these are the people that just love pro wrestling, but if there was something else they'd watch, like, no, those people already left. So these are WWE fans. So you're actually pissing off the people that you the test audience, if you will. So it's like, nah, you need to make good on this, otherwise people will leave. And like, these people you ain't gotta worry about these people going to AEW or whatever else. You gotta worry about these people just never showing up that pay $500 to sit in the fucking 300 section. So yeah, like, them, like, these WWE crowds, like, being mad or whatever else, it matters now because they'll gladly, do whatever they want to for these crowds that just sit on their hands and are bored out of their minds and are on their phones when they're putting on these, 5-match pay-per-views, 4-match pay-per-views, whatever else. But now, if it's some shit that really, pissing off this crowd, you gotta change it. Because there ain't no, they might be people that aren't actually mad about this. No, if they booing this shit, everybody at home booing this shit too. There is no like, people that are just like outside of the norm now. Because they be AEW or watch some other shit or just quit watch wrestling altogether. They're not showing up, paying all this money to be pissed off. No, got to. They had to. So I think it's now called for more urgency from them when shit like this goes up now because it wasn't like that before. So I actually think that actually is wise of them to listen to this crowd now or more now.
I just also find it like I would love to know the decision, like when Paul Levesque was like, "Oh, we got to bring him back." Like he was like, "I've kind of fucking stepped in it, didn't I?" Like he's got to feel like he stepped in it just a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
sure. But I mean, look, that what comes with the job.
Look, get ready for Karrion Kross. That's the next one.
What do you mean, like Karrion Kross?
Yeah, like when his contract is up and when they don't want to bring him back or whatever. And I know you saying that, but they're about to, like, as far as like how whatever AstroTurf is happening
does over a decade and change. No, he doesn't have Awesome Truth. He doesn't have being people
nobody remembers
people loving him and dancing
Truth.
in the rap shit.
That's all. What Kross has right now. Kross has like that shoot promo, which is fresh in people's mind. Kross also has like this AstroTurfing kind of movement online right now.
But that's the problem. That's exactly what it is.
I don't know if people know the difference though.
They do, because when you had that video of all them people posting up, they're so, Karrion Kross, the crowd's going crazy for him, and you play the video, and it's not a fucking soul, it's a Corbin pop. It's like, oh, okay, no. He ain't actually hot. So, like, R-Truth people actually care and have an opinion and memories with R-Truth. Karrion Kross is like, he's some guy that, like, is in the background all the time and has shitty matches.
Look, I think the guy doesn't really have much to offer, like, as far as...
He never has.
Like we saw it in NXT. He had all the best wrestlers in the company around him, and it was just like
it's funny you mention that, right? It's funny you mention that. They deployed Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes, he does have shooters.
They if I remember correctly, they deployed like Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, and Johnny Gargano in a 5-way match to get him to 4 1/4, right? And it was similar to, like, I saw somebody after Double or Nothing say, "Hey, the last month or so of the Death Rider has been kind of fun, or been kind of good, and hasn't it?" And I was like, so you mean to tell me after it's been 7 months, for 6 months, it sucked, but the last month they've had to deploy one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, one of the greatest wrestlers of his generation, one of the 3 or 4 best women's wrestlers in Major Armrest, and the greatest tag team of all time to make this shit kind of good in the last month? What the fuck are we talking about? That's what I was thinking of now when you talked about the Karrion Kross. He's like, they had to deploy them niggas in 2019 to make that shit get to 4.25. No, man, we ain't patting that shit on the back. That shit been ass. It just now started to be acceptable. Were you still wasting 6 months of my time, Tony Khan?
Crazy. People are. I'm letting y'all know right now. People are going to act like it was all worth it. Like whenever that belt comes out of that briefcase and they get Hangman Page riding off on the horse with it, whatever, they're gonna say, "Oh, the Death Riders thing, it was just a 100%." No. I'm letting y'all know now.
Absolutely the fuck not.
We have the tapes. We have the recordings. We have the masters.
And not only that, if Adam Page wins it, who was supposed to win it originally?
Darby Allin.
Right. Who were the good guys at the beginning? Daniel Garcia and a ragtag association of mid-carders getting their ass beat in by the Death Riders and choked out and outsmarted for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Orange Cassidy too.
While we knew nothing of what the Death Riders were talking about or anything, like as Moxley just started putting promos
as Hangman Page is trying to help get over Jay White while that was happening, right? As Swerve is getting over Ricochet while that's happening. As Ospreay is getting his ass beat on Okada again for the second dozen time in New Japan or in AEW in a big spot. Like the top babyfaces that we were all saying at the time should be in this story to make it work. They're now in the story now, 5 months after the fact. So don't give me that. You should have put it at the start and then made this end in 4 months as opposed to now we had to get all the way to here. And it's still putting Jon Moxley in the main event. And you have to rely on, the history of him and Hangman and like, is he going to give a shit?
We will see.
Right.
Strangely, he kind of gave a shit against Mark Briscoe this past week. But
I didn't know that. Didn't watch.
Like,
but I mean, of course. Who bled? They both bleed? They both bled?
Mark Briscoe bled for sure. I don't believe Moxley did.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, but Mark Briscoe's fucking awesome. Like Mark Briscoe, like even Jon Moxley couldn't stop Mark Briscoe.
No, I got one for you. Hey, you ever heard? What's better than one Terry Funk, two Terry Funks? That's what both them niggas is out there doing. You go Funk and I go Funk and we gonna have a good match. All right, fine. Why not? Two wild men. What a shocker that it turned out to be a good match.
Yeah. Nice stimulus or whatever, but of course chokes out at the end. As the epidemic of pass out finishes in pro wrestling continue, I fucking hate them.
You saw what happened on Raw, right?
Yes, I fucking despise tap out finishes or non tap out finishes.
Ref stoppages.
These ref stoppage endings or whatever. All y'all niggas are not Stone Cold Steve Austin having to match a career making match or whatever at WrestleMania or whatever. Like that is not y'all. Y'all need to come out here and tap out or fucking get pinned. Stop it.
Fake jobs.
Look, and this is just like, it fucking like
fake jobs.
Like the way they do
it works when it's done. It works when it's done sparingly. The more and more you do it, then it starts becoming a trope, and then then it loses impact, which is what your point is. And then it's like then you flat out realize, it's just a fake job.
Yeah, and then like you see I'm seeing like the media companies or whatever, the way they're putting it across, like someone loses clean. It's like, no, there was no finish. Like there was no, like nobody lost under someone's. I don't know. Okay. I don't know how to describe.
Okay, how do I say this? Yes, they lost clean. It's because if this this happens, right? Our ref stoppages in legitimate sports.
I put them to sleep.
Yeah. However, you didn't put the person over all the way. That's the problem.
Like there's a reason they keep doing this,
right?
Or whatever. And we
can't have Bryan Danielson tap out to Daniel Garcia, make him pass out. Even though we know Danielson don't give a shit about that kind of stuff.
Amazing. So like when I actually see someone give up, I have a little bit more respect for it. When I see someone get pinned, I have a little bit more respect for it.
Hey,
Apparently, we're not allowed to do such things.
Adam Cole, NXT TakeOver versus Gargano in Brooklyn, he tapped out. Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson in Wembley Stadium, he tapped out. Chris Jericho will tap out. Like
it's a
thing. It's a thing. It's a thing that absolutely, like, you can't say that like, we're making this shit up. There are people that just are like, nah, I'll take the pass out tap out. Like, perfect example, right? Aleister Black in that cage match, whatever else with Colt.
Yes.
Pass out.
Yep. It's just like, I remember when Cody Rhodes passed out to the armbar for Brock Lesnar. I was like, bro, you passed out for a fucking armbar. I was like, oh, we're clearly in that still no beat Cody phase. That's all that was. So like, it's so stupid. It's like, if you're passed out, yes, great point. GC Richie, passing out should result in the injury of months off TV. Like, yeah, if you pass out, you need to fucking get a 2-month clearance or whatever. like you were incapacitated the last time you stepped in this ring. I don't know.
That would sell it better.
Like,
but it depends on what you're selling, right? Like, because you can't, because like, as you mentioned, right, the Brock Lesnar thing, the pass out with Cody. Just do the arm snap thing. Just do the arm snap gimmick and sell it.
Yeah.
But then again, you can't do it because you have to sell a pay-per-view with a rematch within a month or whatever. So no, they won't pass out. For, you know, I've never seen nobody in a UFC fight pass out from that. Pass out from you know, a Kimura or armbar. And they just tap out. Yeah. Or they get their shit snapped. Like, that's what happened with Juliana Payne and Michaela Harris. And Michaela Harris had her Kimura and was about to have her palm touch her fucking shoulder blade, and then she tapped out. Payne tapped out. Real simple.
What else happened on this show? They did a tag with Toni Storm and Mina against Julia and Sky Blue, kind of just a showcase for the baby faces. Mercedes was sitting ringside eating steak. This steak ended up getting eaten by Toni Storm at a certain point.
Did you see what Mercedes said about how she prefers her steak?
No. What did she say?
She prefers her steak well done.
Well, she just ain't never been nowhere in that case.
That is the blackest thing I've ever heard her say or tweet. Like, that is old school black.
Yeah. Because that's like, I don't feel like going all the way into it, but hey,
fuck it,
man,
I'll do it. Black people in general, especially back in the day, used to order well done steaks because black people used to get the worst or spoiled pieces of meat at the meat market. They were sold the bad parts of meat. So to make sure they wouldn't get sick, they cooked it thoroughly as opposed to just, you know, medium or whatever else. Because the legacy of racism. Yeah. So when people laugh about, black people, yeah, the joke's on you racist motherfuckers. Yeah.
That was funny. But
the more
I'll go to long.
The more you know.
Well, I go to Longhorn. I'll get me the medium. You know, eventually, you know, I had to come up off that. You know, you
go to Longhorn with the limo.
Oh yes, absolutely.
In the yeah boy.
I remember I heard Jericho at Longhorn. I'm like, damn, he just like me. Like Longhorn, good as hell. Bitch.
That was the funniest fucking story, bro. I was like, wait, what? This rich motherfucker went along to a commercial chain steakhouse in a limo. And he lost the belt. Like, what?
Yes. Insane. This company shouldn't exist, bro. It shouldn't be here, bro.
There's gonna be a documentary on the beginning, like, first 5 years of AEW, and it's gonna be like, it was a wild, wild west, bro. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna, all these stories that we know, let alone these stories that we know, there's gonna be something we don't know that's gonna make these documentaries.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be like, yeah, man, this shit is like as crazy as it was back in the 90s, damn near.
Yeah. You know, get the Parmesan ranch or the Parmesan crust on the medium ribeye. Oh my God, run it up. But what else happened on this show?
It's 4 hours. It better be a whole bunch of shit happen.
Yeah, a lot of shit happened, but it was all right. It was like,
so you mentioned Moxley and and Briscoe and Mark Briscoe. What happened with Swerve and Osprey and Hangman? I saw some recently about with all three in the ring.
Yeah, that kind of opened the show. Osprey basically come out and cut a promo, said he wants Swerve and Hangman to realize that Moxley's a real enemy. Maybe they can put their differences aside. Moxley says he hates what AEW has become. And then Osprey was like, man, I see why you say you hate what AEW has become because it's about us. You know, basically your shit is trash. And they're like, well, Osprey like basically, said it without, explicitly saying. He was like, hey, bro, it's a new level out here now. And then they set up a Osprey and Leo Rush match, which is, anytime you get a fast nigga in there with Osprey, that's pretty awesome. And that didn't happen all the way until the third hour. So, I gotta say, man, I don't know if I just wasn't prepared to watch 4 hours. I can normally watch one of their 4 hour shows or whatever.
This ain't Wrestle Kingdom. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like, I know it got moved around because of the hockey playoffs and stuff like that. They're going to do another one next week. It's a lot to ask. It just is.
Have they ever done that before? A 4 hour block before?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have.
I feel like I done it before, and I was like, I'm not watching it that week. I feel like I was like, no, this goes against my this goes against everything I stand for. I'm not watching 4 hours of pro wrestling.
So like I was just saying, like, I already knew what time it was. I was like, oh, they're doing the first 2 hours or whatever, just like, your regular Dynamite. And they had Kenny in a rollover or whatever, and then did the angle with him and Okada. Yep. So throwing him right there.
Drew Havens pointed out, and he's right. They used to do 3 hour block when they used to put Rampage. They used to tack on Rampage together on some of those like playoff times. Yep. I remember that. Yep. And that was 3 hours. We talking about 4 hours. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting graps. Unethical graps.
There was a 6-man with LFI and then Mike Bailey, Commander, and Kevin Knight. Laser Light Show, Out of This World.
Okay.
MJF and Mystico were set up for a match, I believe, in the Arena Mexico show. Mystico is going to have a match next week at the Summer Blockbuster show. So they're doing MJF and Mystico. Look, MJF, you better lay them shoulders clean, boy. That's all I know. He was not going into Arena Mexico and beating Mystico. It's not happening. Like, I will throw shit at the TV myself. Imagine what they would do in the arena if MJF beat Mystico.
But what if it's a setup of a Forbidden Door rematch?
No, I don't want it.
I didn't say whether you want it or not. I'm saying what if that's the story?
Give him the win in England? No. That would be a very bad story. MJF need to come in there and lose. And look, and you know what else needs to happen? All the hurt niggas need to try to get in, and Mystico needs to run them off too. Why? Because he's the fucking biggest fucking person in that country. God damn it!
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, you get it's MJF. That look, man. That ring finna come out. You finna dead him right in the face, right in the mask.
Look. I want him to punch Mystico in the face, and Mystico no sells that bullshit.
You start gorilla beating his chest like Sting?
Yes. Little fuck. Like, and then there was a 4-way at the end of the show. Kenny Omega versus Brody King, Claudio, and Mascara Dorada.
That sounds fun.
It was awesome, bro. Like, easy 4.5. I thought the ending, there's a gif of the ending. Like, he caught Mascara Dorada like out of midair and like flipped him on his shoulder and put him in one-wing angel position and did the one-wing angels to him. And it was like,
wow.
All right, man. Like, people can say this thing about Kenny Omega where they're pretending that like he's some old man wrestler or something, right? No. Like, no. Like,
I don't think he's an old man wrestler. I just think there's some shit he will not do in a ring that he used to do. Like, there's certain bumps he's just not going to take no more. And that's fine. But I do think his style is a bit more deliberate than it used to be. And like, I'm not saying that he can't move like he used to be, but like, I think he's intentionally tapping into the part where like you live and die with him. Remember how Danielson used to always do the whole like, oh my God, like his neck, his head, whatever else. Like he's been doing that with his midsection with the diverticulitis. He's been doing that since he came back. It works.
Yeah, a couple.
It's not for me. It doesn't take away from the match. But like I think there is an intention out. There is intention with. I'm gonna say intentionality. Say intention. I hate people do that. But like, I think there is intention with him. Being more. I'm not, because people like the dudes with Omega, they're idiots. Like I think he's delving more into the storytelling elements, even though he's always been that. People act like he's just him and Will Ospreay are different people. And even Ospreay tells great stories, but like people like to do the whole if you're not moving at the speed of smell, you're not telling a story.
Yeah, he gave Brody King a snapdragon on the floor. That shit was amazing.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did the flip dive on all of them. He had this part
Who's the fourth person in it? You said Dorada.
Castagnoli.
Good.
Claudio.
Oh, Claudio.
Castagnoli.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
He caught like they did a thing like where he had Brody King up for the one wing angel, and then instead of the one wing angel instead of the one wing angel, instead of the one wing angel happening, Claudio does the fucking "you going to jail now" uppercut while he's up there or whatever. Wow. So, and then like I think Brody King got right back up and gave Claudio a clothesline. So like Claudio swung him at a certain point. This was just like insane.
Swung who,
like
Brody?
I yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They did all the cool things you want to see. Okay. All right.
So after the match, Kenny's standing tall. Okada's music hits, and then he comes out, and Okada is wearing a ridiculous suit. It's like gold, and it has like some kind of design on it or whatever. And I was like, oh, these are definitely Nihonian silks. And they actually got to it and started brawling or whatever, and running it, and then people got excited for it, and I was like, it's on. So like I thought it was a really good angle there, and they officially made the match official. Okada versus Omega 5 will be there in person for all the belts.
Who would have thought?
All on the line. Yeah.
Who would have thought that we would have been there for Okada Omega 5?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're doing their best to explain some of it or whatever on commentary, but they're going to have a contract signing. I don't know, next week or week after or something. I think it's next week. Okay. So they're I look forward to seeing what they're going to do. I think they're going to be out of this world. Like I expect nothing less than from the greatest in-ring wrestling rivalry of all time. Like,
yeah. Like think of what Okada just did with Mike Bailey. Right, just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right now, like think what he just did with Ospreay at World's End in the C2 final. Like,
I don't know if you've seen Kenny's cage match this year. He's not missing.
Of course, that'll make
super efficient.
Yeah, so
super efficient.
Yeah. So now it's like he gets to go in there with his this is the best matchup in my opinion in pro wrestling history. Okay. I think it'll be real fun. So, man, that's like, look, during Revolution, I said to see you, it was like, hey man, Moxley and Cope are fucked. Moxley and Hangman, they got a match to follow. Cause that match gonna be, that match gonna go the fuck off. They're not gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be one of the best matches of the year. You're locked into that. So now it's like Hangman and Moxley, their history before. They've had incredible matches before. They cannot I don't know who needs to tell John Moxley or whatever else. Like, hey, bro, whatever you got planned or whatever else, we're throwing in the trash. We're starting over.
Ain't doing none of that.
It need to be Hangman Moxley in a third unbiased neutral party in the room putting the match together. A mediator, if you will. Yeah, man. Like, it's gonna be an awesome match, and the main event's gonna have to try to not get embarrassed by it. And if it doesn't get embarrassed by it, we're talking about one of the greatest shows of all time, just based off of 2 matches. Because you know what them two finna fucking do. You know what Okada and Omega finna do, man. Like, I'm not even saying their match even have to touch what they've done in the past. I'm just saying off of what they've done in good health in the last 6 months, them being put back together like this, there is no worry of a letdown like John Cena and Randy Orton or John Cena and what CM Punk about to do in Saudi Arabia. That's not even in the discussion. Like, worst case scenario is the disappointing 5-star match.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, many levels of legacy. What is it? 5 stars.
Right.
Like, what are we doing here? We know it's gonna be one of the greatest matches of all time. So, and then imagine if it lives up to the hype, Rich.
What if it's the best one they ever had to do? Like, I don't know if that, like,
there is no fucking, look, man. Look,
James, we might as well fucking do it right now. Is this week is the fucking anniversary of the 2018 Dominion match. It's like today or yesterday or some shit. It's like,
oh yeah, it is early June. Yeah.
Like, that match, I feel like when I saw it, I didn't know what to do next with my life after that. Like, I was unspoiled on it. I saw it completely, just like, oh man, like, what's gonna happen? Like, I was, I turned my phone off for a day. But I was like, not airplane mode, turn the phone off. I called Josh and Jeremy like, hey, I'm on the way over. Click, power down. And then the whole shit, like the night before that, I turned it on briefly to make the call, put it away. I'm on the way. Let's go. And, I just remember how I felt watching that match and, subsequently that series. And I was like down on the idea of it because I don't think that they had,
they haven't done it justice.
They haven't done it in the way that I would do it, quite frankly, and I'm not the booker or anything, but it's like there's so many great ideas that you can have with these guys to do this, to not make it feel tacked on, to not be alienating to other people.
It's like the greatest luxury match of all time.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't really feel like it directly affects the promotion, even though both of these guys have belts.
They're both because they're both in their own universes with their own belts, except for the part where they're interconnected with this stuff that's going on with Death. They've been just recently put together with Young Bucks and Death Riders versus the Elite Babyfaces, right? Yeah. And that's only been the last month or so, or 5 weeks or whatever. Outside of that, they haven't really been interacting. And when they have, it's it stops and starts because diverticulitis. That's been the biggest issue. The time is off. They want to do this match last year.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna be real when this shit happens in person, it's gonna be just. It's an entire era of pro wrestling that's gonna just come rushing back, all those emotions, watching all those matches or whatever. And I haven't watched them in a while.
I've never rewatched any of them.
I think I've watched the first match 4 times. I want to say I watched the second match twice. I watched the third match maybe 3 times, and then I watched the last match twice.
Okay, so with some of these New Japan matches, I will not go back and rewatch them because I have my opinion of them, and I'm not rewatching to change my opinion. I'd be I already know where they are. Like the 2000 Wrestle Kingdom 19, Day 1, Okada and Ibushi. I haven't rewatched that match again. It's oh no, that's the best match I saw this year. I don't care if it's the 4th. This is the best match I'm gonna see all year. I don't care. Move along. The G1 or the G1 final in 2017 between Okada and Naito. That's the 3rd best match I've ever seen in my life. I haven't rewatched it.
You mean Omega and Naito?
Yeah, Omega and Naito. I'm sorry. Omega and Naito.
Yeah.
3rd best match I've ever seen in my life. Right? The Dominion match we just talked about. Best match I've ever seen in my life. Never. I don't think I rewatched it. I know for a fact I didn't rewatch the hour-long draw because that pissed me off. I was furious. I dinged the shit out of that match. I was like, you mean tell me they ain't gonna fuck them? Go to hell. So, yeah, like I'm, my expectation is not gonna be unrealistic. I'm not expecting to see the greatest match all the time, but like I said, like they're so damn good, and they've been so good in the last 6 months. And it's like they get there with their history or whatever else. I can honestly be like, hey, I can put the over under right at 5 on the Dave Meltzer scale, and like I would be shocked if they didn't have a 5-star match. And if they only have a Dave Meltzer 5-star match, I will be disappointed, slightly disappointed. Like they're them. And their connection is unparalleled to anything I've ever seen in pro wrestling. So, yeah.
Yep. Like, I think is going to be whatever segment they do next week is going to go a long way to sell whatever. I think Kenny's going to have to tap into just a level of like telling what this match and what this opponent kind of means to him. And I think Okada's up for the challenge too, because like they've done a lot of stuff like where he can just subvert whatever Kenny is. He was like where he basically said, "I'm the best bout machine now," and different stuff like that. He can do like little tricks and stuff like that. But I'm just glad we get to see it in person. Like, and I'm gonna be really happy.
I mean,
so it almost feels like like I think. Do you think this is the last match they should ever do?
Given the way I feel like they position Okada, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. Like if I thought they were ever going to move Okada out of his own universe and into an actual like he could be the AEW World Champion or whatever else, outside of that, I say never touch it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's too many fresh opponents going forward, possibly for both guys or whatever. I think this is a good place to leave it. You do it once in America, and then this is it. We say goodbye or whatever, so to speak. But it's going to be incredible. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Like, so I did not get to watching the rest of that stuff. Like, I started watching the Ospreay and Leo match, and it was going awesome. Okay. And then apparently my eyes blacked out and I woke up the next morning. So like I was tired or whatever. I did not see hour 3 and 4 to completion. But I'm going to try it again next week.
Damn, you treating Dynamite, or you treating Fyter Fest like it's Superstars in the 90s.
So there's another big match. Like, so we mentioned those two matches, the Moxley and Hangman. And then of course there's Mercedes and Tony, right? But I'm kind of wondering about Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. So they're going to wrestle each other this coming week,
right?
Tomorrow, and they're going to have like, I think they're going to have a super match. Obviously, they're going to go like 40 minutes or so. They're going to have plenty of time to do their thing, right? Part of me, and there was like angles setting up with MJF walking up on Will Ospreay. There was a couple weird things that just had my brain kind of trying to make connections, and I'm like, well, what are the Hurt Syndicate doing? And it made me feel like the Swerve and Lashley thing was going to come back around at a certain point, to where it was like, are Ospreay and Swerve about to team up as a super team and shit? Like, I know nothing. Let's just get that out on the table. I know nothing. I don't want to know anything this year at all. But just seeing how it's set up, it's like they're doing Ospreay and Swerve now, unless they just run a rematch back, which I don't believe is the plan. But I can easily see and one thing about this show is like there's a lot of like people. It's like, all right, who's gonna get with who or whatever, and there are stories about who was aiming to work with who, which I will not divulge, but I could easily see Hurt Syndicate versus Swerve and Will Ospreay for the tag belts. And then, you got a super tag team there. You have FTR there. You have the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
You have other super teams which may emerge that are out there. Let's just try this one on for size. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page against Swerve and Will Ospreay. How would you guys like something like that? Do you guys think that would be good? Like, I think there's something to a Swerve and Ospreay tag team. Even though, they've been running it, they're about to have this match or whatever, I feel like something's going to bring them together for some reason.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I haven't really put much thought into a Swerve and Hangman. I'm sorry, Swerve and Hangman. A Swerve and Ospreay tag team, but obviously it'd be awesome if they did it. I mean, we know what they get. We know what they do.
Look, and if they're gonna have Hangman with a world belt, right? Let's say like they're like, yo, we wanna
buy time.
Swerve and Ospreay busy, before either they break it up, they either do a tag match themselves. I feel like they're gonna win the tag belts at All In.
I mean,
that's my guess. I don't know.
So you think that'd be a straight up 2v2 tag team, or you think that turns to like they turn into like some all-star tag team match?
I think it's a 2v2, and then MJF is, MJF don't like to wrestle anyway, but he caused them to fucking lose or whatever, and Hurt Syndicate, from there does whatever they do with MJF because they go off on their own way, but they'll lose to, two super guys. Because you look around the division, FTR is clearly not. They're doing something else completely. Young Bucks are doing something completely.
What do you think?
I don't know what
doing All In.
I don't know. They should probably find something though.
Because in my mind, I imagine like, you forgot another awesome tag team. You forgot another awesome tag team for Ospreay in Swerve to wrestle.
Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey.
An even more awesome one, Takeshita and Fletcher.
They're there also.
Yeah.
It could be Swerve and Ospreay versus the Bucks at All In. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of options.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to see where the pieces fit. Now, I haven't figured it all out yet, but I imagine the show next week and after they're through the Mexico show, this stuff's going to start coming into focus. Do
you think Swerve's going to wrestle in Rio, Mexico?
No, I don't believe so. Would have been cool though, because they're doing him and Ospreay the week before.
The reason I ask is what was he doing in Mexico before in the past?
He worked AAA before.
I know he worked AAA, but I was trying to what was his gimmick? I forgot.
It was just him and Swerve Strickland, and then before that, of course, he was in Lucha Underground as Killshot. But
he didn't do Killshot in AAA. No,
not to my knowledge.
Okay,
no.
Okay, because they had at that point they had Brian Cage in AAA. They had Leo Rush AAA. They had a few people that was coming down and doing stuff. So.
Yep. So
tired of the price of everything going up these days? Groceries, rent, you name it. It's all going up. But not at Metro. They've got your back. Metro has lowered their prices and are giving you a 5-year price guarantee on talk, text, and data. One line, now 20% lower. Family plans, also lowered. Oh, and you also get a free 5G phone. All with no ID required and no activation fees. Stop by your neighborhood Metro store, visit metrobystmobile.com, or call to find out about their amazing offers. Bring your number, not available if currently at T-Mobile or with Metro in the past 180 days. Guarantee covers monthly price of on-network talk, text, and 5G data for customers activating on an eligible plan. Exclusions apply. Details at metrobystmobile.com.
All right, that's going to do it for the wrestling talk, but we're going to talk about the NBA a little bit. Or the WNBA, whatever one. The MNBA finals are 1-1 right now, and a lot closer series, I think, than a lot of people predicted or whatever. I feel like the Pacers can play with the Thunder. It's going to be interesting seeing what happens next. The Thunder largely handled them in that second game. It wasn't particularly close, but that game one comeback was so thrilling and exciting and weird story. So I'm watching the third quarter and I'm like, all right, this shit is like, like this is out of hand almost at this point. I'm just turn off, whatever. I'll go to sleep. I'm tired or whatever. Something tells me to wake up or whatever. And I turned the game back on with 5 minutes left, and I'm like, oh, they're still up by 10, whatever. And there you go. And then the Taliban decided, to make an appearance. So they ran them down, and it was like, oh. And then I started looking at the Thunder, and it was just like, I just don't believe it. Like, I feel like I'm going to have to just learn the hard way with these niggas. Like,
yeah, you're going to learn the hard way.
Like, because I don't think Jalen Williams is good. Chad is skinny. Shea, I don't like watching him play.
Like, I don't like the idea when they show the graphic of Westbrook, Harden, and Durant, and then they show the graphic of Chet, Jalen Williams, dark-skinned Jalen, and Shea. It's like, nah, man. Like, if you switch out like players 4 through 12, and you swap those rosters, like that Thunder team, like I know they won 68 games, like they might have won 75. Like, what are we talking about in that era of basketball? Like, no, like they were out there with black holes, and they're playing 3-on-5 on offense at times. They were playing out there with Thabo Sefolosha and Kendrick Perkins at times, and then they were spruced up with Ibaka or like Reggie Jackson. Right? They sit down an erratic point guard for another erratic point guard. It's like, no, man, like y'all don't, it's totally different. Like, we're not talking about 3 future MVPs. We're talking about 1 future MVP and I don't think either one of them will ever get an MVP vote. Like, what are we talking about? And also Shea's 26 and Durant was the oldest. He was 22 at the time. Like, it's not the same thing. So that irritates me. But it's like, it's not about how good Chet or Jalen Williams actually are. It's about the part where it's like, and I was going to make this point, and then I was talking to Marcus about this. He asked me, he hadn't been watching the Thunder.
He asked me too.
Yeah, and I was telling him, like, because I've started having this thought about it while watching, like, the Eastern Conference Finals, and then watching the Thunder this year, and then, like, the way that, the salary cap and, the way teams are going to be constructed because the CBA is so restrictive now. It's basically a hard cap. And the way, like, the Thunder are set up, like, they have the advantage of everybody else, they try to have 1 big star, they have 2 big stars, and then everything struggles around depth-wise after that, as far as, they might only have 7 reliable guys in their rotation or whatever else. Like the Nuggets, they, Bruce Brown leaves, then KCP leaves, then you have to gamble on Westbrook, and hopefully pays off, and sometimes he does, sometimes he blows up the game for you, right? So for them, the Nuggets, they only had 7 rotation players you can even trust in a playoff series. And then as the series wears on, they're out of gas. Well, the Thunder, their oldest guy, Caruso's the oldest guy at 31, and that's the oldest guy is Shea at 28 or 26, and everybody else is like, in their early to mid 20s, and they got 11 good fucking players. Like, they have the benefit of running you off the court in a way with pace and drain your energy. Like, remember we were talking about, and I had a couple thoughts to this. These just anecdotal stuff to come to my conclusion or my thoughts about this. Is like when Ant was in that game that the Lakers were trying to steal to keep from going down 3-1 in Game 4 when they played LeBron the whole second half, and then Ant just basically said, "I'm just gonna foul you, just shove the shit out of you 3 possessions in a row, 3 trips up the floor with LeBron." Right? It's like I'm just trying to put you to fumes where you can't close the game. Right? I'm just trying to negate any kind of gas you have to try to close this game. I'm trying to mess up your pacing. Right? The way the Knicks in the Pacers series went, where the Knicks are playing, one only play 7 guys, and then they get to Game 6, and Thibodeau says, "Fuck it." Or Game 5 and 6, they start playing Landry Shamet and somebody else to give their their core players more time off, and also to get Josh Hart off the court because he's struggling. Well, then the Pacers answer just, all right, well, I'll just go deep. We were going 9. We were playing 9. We'll play 11 guys in. Fuck it. If you want to play more guys, we'll play more guys. And the whole thing is we're trying to play with pace, and we're trying to wear out your best players. Because the responsibility on Jalen Brunson is immense. The responsibility on Karl Anthony Towns is immense. And the more they got to play, the more plays they got to play, and out of mileage, by the end of the game, they'll be able to close. They'll make mistakes. You'll have all these leak outs from Siakam on corner shots where OG Anunoby is the person supposed to be back and he's not getting back.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like, I feel like teams now are leveraging, forget the 3-point shooting, forget the pick on weak links on the defense. What they're also leveraging now is energy. In the old school 40 minutes of hell, full court press you thing, it's we got more bodies that are capable of playing this sport or playing this game at a high level. We're putting them on the floor and we're going to wear your ass out. It's almost like space. It's almost like college football running no huddle all the time. All the hurry up offense is like, we're going to wear this team out by making them run up and down the floor, making them have to play more plays that aren't good enough to be on the floor with us. And over time, we're going to break you. That's what the Pacers did to the Knicks. That's what the Thunder have done to teams with 11 actual quality NBA players. That's actually rotation players in the playoffs. Like the wingers nigga that knocked down 5 or 8 threes in game 2? He's like their 7th or 8th man or 9th man or whatever.
Yeah.
Light-skinned Jalen Williams don't even play no more. So yeah,
he was on Jokic's duty.
Yeah, I just think we're at a point now where like the depth is the thing now, and teams are going to have to figure out how to make that work when it comes to drafting better, when it comes to cap moves, whatever else. But like the Thunder win this title, it could be tough for the next few years. This could actually be the dynasty, and it's not saying that like, yeah, this team is as good as the Shaq Kobe Lakers, or this team is as good as like the 80s Lakers or Celtics, but like they are set up to where they're going to be able to have this churn where like when it's time to pay somebody, if we can't keep them, we'll package them, ship them out, and we'll get more picks, and we already have all these picks, and we have someone that can just draft better than anyone else, or seems to be able to draft better than anyone else.
Or they'll just cash in some of them shits too.
Or they can cash in if they fail too. There's also that. Yes. They have more flexibility to go either way.
Yeah.
Like, cause I don't think Chet or Jalen Williams are going to be, second team All-NBA players the way it's going. So you don't want to pay them. Okay, ship them, get the next person in, or ship them to get somebody that actually, fills the utility that you need for the team at the time. Shea's the only untouchable person on that team.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Pacers. Like, the Pacers are like...
Wait, hold on. And all them niggas play good defense. All of them. And the best ones, they have diplomatic immunity. They do what they want.
I feel like...
Think about trying to get by Lou Dort. He'll kick you in your ass. Not kick your ass, kick you in... Where you going? Trip you and shit? Push you?
Like that man holding up the old theory of like basketball players with dreadlocks or whatever. It's just a rough night, Like
so I got one for you. Remember I used to talk about the Jason Kidd, Andre Iguodala kung fu grip?
Yeah.
How did it get passed down to Alex Caruso?
Trying to see. Well, Jason Kidd was an assistant on the Lakers when Caruso was there.
That's right. I didn't even think about that.
That happened.
But ain't nobody talked about it. It's like, bro, how does this man have these strong ass, fast ass hands? It makes no sense.
Look, man, we doing that grip trim.
And he just allowed to reach in with them damn knives he got from hands and fingers, and he don't get called for shit. It's like, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Look, man, the Pacers playing with house money. Y'all ain't supposed to be there anyway. You ain't supposed to win. You ain't supposed to do none of this shit. Shoot your threes, run up and down, and see how the cars fall. Siakam's won a title before. Halliburton, he can be hot one game and cold the next. Just ride him. He's due to get hot eventually.
I think the thing is, I think that they have. Well, we'll see how it goes in Game 3, but I think Game 2 is mostly like, Siakam got a couple baskets, trying to like overpowering Caruso, going over top of him with his length and size advantage, like over him. And then after that, like Caruso's like, oh, okay, so you think you can just do whatever you want to? Wait till I get to do whatever I want to. And then Siakam couldn't make a single basket over him again after that. And then the game was basically over. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But like, I have concerns of Halliburton being too smart for his own good and only want to attack mismatches. There ain't no mismatches on this team. So he needs to come off saying like, I'm not trying to find a switch. I need to find a screen. I need to find a screen and either shoot or attack or get into the paint, 2 feet into the paint, and then go from there. But like, it can't be like what he was doing. He's like basically just picking on Towns and Brunson or campaign. Like none of those three are on the floor. So there is no find a weak link on this situation. It is like, oh, you don't pick on Chet. Good fucking luck. So. He needs to be more aggressive to start the game, and we'll see if he doesn't give you some in the first half of this game. This could be a very much a 2020 or 2001 Lakers Sixers thing where it's like, oh, can't believe that team we thought was going to get swept won game 1, and then after that first game it turned to a sweep. And I think it get nasty quick depending on how this goes.
I'm hoping for the Thunder to shut down their legs a little bit. But as far as the WNBA, there are rumblings that the Fever played the Dream tonight in Atlanta and lost pretty handily to them.
Is Caitlin back yet?
There are rumblings she's going to return for the Liberty game, which is on Saturday. According to, out? I think. Maybe Monica McNutt, not doing it. But I believe it is a road game in New York. Fever have been, they've gone 2-3 without her. My bar for success, if she wasn't already back for the Atlanta game, was 2-2 for them.
Do we need to talk about how they got the win over Chicago Sky?
Absolutely. I talked about it on my YouTube channel. Had a good laugh about it, but man, United Center, 19,000 plus. A lot of people still showed up, obviously, even though Caitlin wasn't there, or she was there but on the bench or whatever, and she was having a grand old time watching what was going down.
You saw her get a roll on?
Absolutely.
Travel. Get her this way. I'm like, man, she need to stop.
Yeah.
So.
Courtney Vandersloot tears her ACL minutes into the game. She's done for the season. It could be a wrap on her career. So best wishes to Courtney Vandersloot. But that opened the door for Haley Van Lith to come in the game, and they unleashed Ari McDonald, who has been signed to a hardship contract for the Indiana Fever. Now, if you don't know who Ari McDonald is, I don't know if y'all remember the woman that was guarding Caitlin Clark last year, who was shooting the free throws, running to Caitlin Clark, but they were saying, hey, you still got another free throw? That's Ari McDonald. She's been excellent for the Fever, and they need to find a way to keep her under any circumstance. She gives the ability to kind of not give a fuck in the backcourt because obviously Kelsey's a star, Caitlin's a star. They can't guard people like the way she can. She terrorized Haley Van Lith as Haley Van Lith was guarding her 94 feet. Fucked everything up for the Sky. And then Angel Reese was a absolute disaster. No other way to sugarcoat it. Scored 4 points on the night. I believe 2 of 8 shooting, 5 boards, completely unaggressive. Caught a butt-naked, wide-open layup at the beginning of the game. Scored 2 points after that. And then I see how people are treating this coach. It's like, what do you want him to do? Like, the player that this franchise has chosen to tie everything to cannot play offensive basketball. So how is it his fault? Especially this guy has a stellar reputation around the league for being a great player development coach in multiple locations. People like Candace Parker speak highly of him. He's on the Aces staff. Like, I'm not buying this guy needs to be fired like a lot of Chicago Sky people are suggesting.
is this a thing where they're just upset at the win-loss record, or do they recognize that like this roster stinks?
I don't think they understand the roster stinks.
Like, okay, so hold on. Let's do this real quick. How many teams are in the league now?
13.
So
they don't have a top 5 player at any position.
All right. So Scott Van Pelt and Ryan Russillo used to do lunchtime radio ESPN. They used to do this for NFL after power rankings for NFL every week, right? And they would they wouldn't do the whole all 32 teams. They just do top 5, bottom 3.
Or bottom 3 for sure.
So, okay, I was about to ask you: Dallas Wings, Golden State Valkyrie, Chicago Sky.
No.
Oh, hold on. No. I know. She said Aces. She said Aces. No, anyway.
No. The bottom 3 is going to be Sky.
Yep.
Sun, Connecticut.
Yep.
And Dallas.
In Dallas.
Valkyries are actually better than people thought. Like, they have a system, they have some magic going right now, and they have like a lot of these kind of mid-tier players and international people that kind of just understand how to play, and they're playing like a forward-thinking style.
Okay, so they've escaped bottom 3 for now.
Correct.
Okay, but that's the rosters. Like, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the Chicago Sky. So
they're very bad, and then they just lost their starting point guard, who's already washed.
Players that people that you know the most or whatever else are too big. And it's like it's the WNBA, and they have terrible guard play. Like, what do you expect to happen? Like Cardoso and Reese, neither one of them are Asia Wilson bringing the ball up, or Breanna Stewart bringing the ball up, or Alyssa Thomas bringing the ball up. None of them are that. They're
Cardoso might
bigs.
Be tall, and that's all. She might be tall, and that's all right now. Jury's still out, but we'll see. I think Angel needs to really get dedicated, and she did have a good game against the Liberty tonight, but they got their doors blown off. I believe she had 15 and 10 or something like that. But
also, what I will tell her,
rededicate.
What I will tell her, or what I would say to her, you can do what you want, but I like the fits. The fits work better if you play better. But when you out here one thing to talk about positive about you is the fits. It almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it's really tough for Angel right now because
she can't win right now. There's nothing she can do to win right now because she's on the team. She's on a bad team, right? On a bad team. On a team that can't help her, like express her strengths, and you know she's the one that says she'll play the villain. She said that out loud. I don't want to hold her to that, but other people will, and that's the part that is gonna be tough for a while. It's gonna be tough for a while.
The Angel Reese phenomenon is like really one of the weirdest things because it's like for however good she is as a basketball player, you know, some people think she's great, which I disagree with. Or she's like average. Like, I don't think she's going to be an all-star this year. Like I said that on my YouTube channel, and I was like, just looking at her stats, like it's abysmal. Like as far as like the shooting percentages.
Right.
So it's like at some point, and I think like the way that the Fever have handled the Sky this year, and they have them 3 more times this year, has just demonstrated like the gulf between like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Like now it's almost like when we're like, hey, let's talk about it being basketball, right? Like, because you can talk about the other elements all day, right? But you limit it to basketball, and it's like
it's a quick conversation.
What are we doing? Why are we still doing this? Why did we even allow it to be done as long as it was being done last year?
Because it was like, hell, take it back 2 years. People want a race war.
It's like, is Asia Wilson the only person that's black? Excuse me. Is Angel Reese the only person that's black in the league, apparently?
Right.
Like, it's like, I don't understand the phenomenon, like, with, like, because she does have people that are fans of her that are not necessarily basketball fans, and that's fine. You can be famous or whatever.
That's the case with a lot of Clark's fans too.
Yeah, but it's like you can easily say with Caitlin, like you can point to the basketball thing.
Yeah.
be like, yo, she's a phenomenon. She's like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
right?
in the women's game, yeah.
But like, you can look at Angel and it's like, she,
right.
like, the most associated thing with her is missing layups and getting her own rebounds, right or wrong or whatever. So it's like, I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to do this. Like, as far as like, and like the Sky has to get a lot better. And they got to think about either trading her or like trading everything around her and like trying to figure out okay, how do we make her our third best player or something like that? Because that's her road to success, I think, in the league. If she's not the first or second best player on your team, I think you're in good shape. If you put her in those two roles, it ain't gonna work.
I agree. And I'll be honest with you, as stacked as most of these WNBA teams are that compete, I would say she's probably better off being a fourth option. Like, do you think her game will ever be to the point where like she's as good as like, let's say last year's, for example, Jonquel Jones? I don't think
no.
Right. Like, do you think her game will ever be as good as let's say Chelsea Gray or Jackie Young from 2 years ago? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you know, it's still early, still very early. She's in her second year, but it's like the leap that will be it's unrealistic to expect that kind of leap. So I think it's kind of more 4 than 3. Rich.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm being generous by saying 3. So like,
that's kind of where I'm getting at.
Yeah, but in other news, like we'll move it on. The Aces don't look great at the moment. It looks like it's Asia and Asia, the Las Vegas Asians. That's it. I don't know what's going on there. Jewel Lloyd's completely washed. Chelsea Gray was having 1 assist games after, you know, GMs was out here saying she's the best point guard in the league and whatnot. They should probably walk that back. I think the Atlanta Dream are a major surprise this year. For me, they feel like the new Connecticut Sun, but a lot better offensively than how it works. Every time they play the Fever, it's a tough game. It's an entertaining game. And I think they're going to face each other in the playoffs. Like, I think Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones have blended in with this roster a lot better than I thought. And then, you know, you got the 2 top teams are both 9-0, the Lynx and the Liberty. Both of them have played relatively soft schedules thus far. They've beat up on the bottom quite and feasted and did their job on those folks. Nafisa Collier looks like the best player in the world right now, and she's kind of leaped out in the MVP thing. Sure, Caitlin will have something to say about that when, you know, she comes back, but Collier's on another level right now.
I mean, are you sure about that? I mean, the season's gonna be over like next week, so
yeah.
This WC she's short as hell, and people can play. And who was it complaining about having to play like 8 games or 7 games in 10 days or something like that?
That's actually one thing I wanted to bring up. Was Satu Sabali. So
right.
So Satu Sabali actually brings up so
it's a good point.
So they're missing it, and this blends in with, you know, how the Fever were. So last year,
yeah,
they got the 11 games in 20 days. They got 11 games in 20 days. They got 9 games in, I think, 18 days or something like that. This is what Satu's complaint was. Yeah. But the injuries, like, they only carried up to 12 players on a roster. So, like, that's why we're getting this whole thing with hardship contracts. And the second you have 2 injuries, you're down to 10 players, right? Yeah. So you can't even have, like, real practices and stuff like that. So they're already missing Kalia Copper, who's out 4 to 6 weeks to start the season with a knee surgery. So Phoenix is already feeling that. They got the compressed schedule, but they don't want to expand the rosters to 12, 13, 14, 15, or whatever for injury reserve. They don't want to do that because, like, it's a collective bargaining issue at this point. So I think this is something to pay attention to because a lot of people got on Sabali like, yeah, you're ungrateful, whatever. You know, I'm like, all right, man, you still got to travel fucking city to city and do all that shit.
Right.
And
also, let's compare it to the men's game. They won't men don't do this shit no more.
Right. And also, like, you know, it kind of lends credence to when people raised this as an issue last year with how the Fever started, right, but nobody wanted to actually hear that or whatever. I was like, Yeah, they kind of threw him to the wolves.
Especially because they're out there playing like the Aces in the Sun and the Liberty all the goddamn time to start the season.
Yeah. So like, I think it's gonna be something to watch. Like, and Satu doesn't strike me as a person that, will really hold her tongue on anything. Like, I don't think she said anything wrong. I think it's a necessary conversation, especially going into CBA, which is hanging over all of this shit. So,
okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
All right. Have you watched any Mystics games?
Yes. Kind of an entertaining team, sneakily. The rookies and Brittany Sykes.
All right. I'm glad you brought up Brittany Sykes. So, have you noticed an abnormal whistle for her or no?
So I haven't noticed it, but people were talking about it.
That's why I asked you, because I've only watched like a quarter of Mystics this year or whatever else. And it was just, there was no TV on, like it was no audio on. I was in and out of paying attention. So I was asking because like, Kelsey Plum had the press conference, post-game press conference. She was, I drive all the time. I can get a whistle. And she was clearly talking about Brittany Sykes' whistle in comparison. So I was wondering what you thought about it.
Yeah. It honestly always rolls back up to the big dog. I'm like, well, welcome to Caitlin Clark's world. Like, I don't like, this is what's been going
Caitlin
on
Clark
in this
don't
league.
live in the paint like them two do. So it's a little different.
I mean,
like, how people talk about like Steph Curry always gets fouled all the time, always gets touched off the ball, and it's like, that's true, but he's not going to the rim with that. That's why he didn't get the calls. Like Caitlin's game isn't so much around getting to the paint, otherwise she would get more whistles. Theoretically anyway.
Maybe. Like
I said, theoretically. But her game, the way her game is right now, like I see why she doesn't get the calls.
Get that clothesline real quick, But I think I need to watch more, pay attention to more Brittany Sykes, because when I'm watching them, I'm kind of looking at Iriafin and Sonia Cicerone,
the rookies.
Man, it's like I wish Georgia Amore was playing with them. Oh, it stinks for them, but they're sneaky, and they're gonna have something to say. They might have a chance to get the last playoff spot. Like it's gonna be up for grabs. It's going to be up for grabs. They're 9th right now. And I would be shocked if they got over the Sparks, but they're in front of the Sparks slightly by a game right now. The Sparks have like a lot of talent, but they've had a lot of people out. Rakia Jackson was out for quite a while with a concussion. She's due to be back soon. What else? Paige has been injured. 5 games. I think she's due to play Wednesday.
Saying that stuff about her, the times how they're like her times matched up with certain dates on the calendar. I'm like, come on now, stop it. They saying that she getting injured and missing games because it's Pride Month, and I'm like, what is Paige Becker? What are you talking about?
If that was the case, the whole Wings team would be taken off. Then, like, nobody be playing.
Right.
But she, I believe, I think she had a concussion as well.
They're not saying that like they're not playing. They're saying that like she is like anti, so she's not playing to sell around. I was like, what are you talking about?
Nah,
like she like it seemed like she got some shit on the tuck that there's kind of an open secret going on. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But she had a concussion. She's missed 5 games as well. So I think she's due to play Wednesday if I have my shit right here. But she was out for illness Sunday. So the rookie of the year race this year is way more wide open than people had to pretend last year. So Kiki's doing her thing, Sonia's doing her thing, and we'll see what Paige does, because Paige was picking it up that last couple games before she went out. There was one night she did real good for me in fantasy one night, but hopefully Caitlin's back and we can get this shit rolling some more. In the Seattle Storm, shit, there's always an investigation going on there. Seems like something's up with that team. I don't know what, but I don't know.
speaking of investigations and scandals, Rich, I never heard the full details about the Sophie Cunningham, Matt Ishbia thing. Can you give me a quick synopsis of that?
Okay. So first, Sophie Cunningham came out and denied it, but who knows? So I don't believe it was the owner. It was, I think, somebody that, some higher up, some exec.
Okay, so it wasn't Ishbia. Okay.
I don't believe it was Ishbia that was allegedly in an affair with Sophie Cunningham. I don't know if this is true.
Okay.
This was a couple. This was
a few weeks ago.
Yeah. I don't remember the specific details, but I remember the night that shit came out. That shit was all over the W Twitter.
Yes, woo. And I was trying to stay out of women's business, but now I'm on his podcast talking to you about women's business. So,
yep.
I gave it a month.
So like I haven't really heard anything else since she's came out and denied it.
Okay.
But it's, there's a lot going on in the Mercury organization. Apparently, I don't know. I would love to know what Diana knew. Can we get Diana on some wine? Can we have her call up Sue Bird or something? Give Diana some wine and say, hey, can you tell us about the inner workings of the organization? And then we'll see what the great Diana Taurasi would have to say. I feel like she would say something interesting.
Okay, so all right. So since you mentioned the undefeated Minnesota Lynx, I think it's time to talk about Stud Buzz.
Absolutely,
bro. Courtney Williams and
he's the best,
and Natisha Hydeman are fucking hilarious. They're fucking hilarious. Do you see that Courtney has now she has now dyed her hair pink like Natisha today? Did you see that?
I didn't see. The last one I saw was when they were talking about Alyssa Smith with the bust down.
Yeah. When she had the, okay, so I don't know if you noticed in that video, Courtney had the cap on because she was she's in the process of dyeing that shit. And today at the game, at practice she showed up with the pink, just like T. Man, these two are fucking trip. Like, they're fucking hilarious. Like, they're like, how do I explain this? They're almost like the Teague podcast of these motherfucking active players. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, when they had Dejanay Carrington in the room on the stream was like, y'all want 8? Damn, who y'all beat? Like, that shit was so nasty.
Yeah.
Oh man,
any Courtney Williams clip that pops up, whether it's her with her dad on that podcast, them shits are hilarious
I haven't seen her dad. But
she hosts
I can't wait
to hear,
bro. I can't wait to hear her dad talk, given how she talks. Oh, I bet it's great. Yeah.
You can probably find it in the clips on TikTok, but
okay.
Yeah, I usually see the Natisha Hydeman one too. And Natisha Hydeman's a rapper too. Yeah, she raps. So
all right. I've seen enough.
You should look that up.
I've seen enough. I want the DNA test now. I want the DNA test now.
So, but yeah, so more, if you like hearing about the WNBA stuff, my YouTube channel is going insane. And come check it out there. So, I watched a game earlier. I actually got to do a video breaking down the Fever's loss and some other shit too. So, I kind of want to talk about, but
Sky and Liberty was today, right? Or tonight, right?
Yes.
How did that go?
I believe that was a one-sided beat them down.
I'm not mistaken. So.
Yeah, they beat them 85-66. So,
yeah, I've seen people starting to turn on Sabrina. They don't like they don't like it. They don't like it. It's like, okay,
cringe, bro. That shit. Bro, that shit she did where she was arguing the call and shit, it was like, yo, y'all were up 50 when you were doing this.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
hey. Nah.
Bring it down.
Hey, I'm here for the gambling public. Get it right.
Yeah.
I gotta say, if you're gambling on W games, you need fucking help.
Bro, I feel like they wouldn't be that hard to gamble on. Like,
I do, because the league's so compressed. In theory, bro, if because you saw the people were, I don't know if they were really doing it for real, but they were talking about how they were betting against like the prop bet of Angel Reese, like will she make her first basket or whatever else. Like, bro, if you doing that, you got problems.
That's an easy lick.
That's a sickness. That's a disease.
That's an easy lick. Okay, so Sabrina's averaging 17 points, 4 boards, and 5 assists. So a very regular kind of guard stat line. Like
that's an all-star guard numbers.
I mean, I think Alicia Gray's numbers smoke hers right now. Kelsey Plum smoke hers.
Well, of course, Kelsey, because Kelsey's out here looting a riot with a missing starter on her team. Do we know when Brink is coming back? Is she supposed
to be sometime this month?
Oh wow! Okay.
Sabrina's shooting 39% from the field this year.
That don't surprise me. How many do you think they let at this point? Is she shooting anything but threes?
She's shooting 33% from 3.
Yeah.
I believe on 8 attempts a game.
Like I said, is she shooting anything but threes? That's a big diet of threes.
Yeah, and she's shooting 14 shots a game right now.
So she's shooting more threes and twos. That's yeah.
So like, you know, she plays on a really great team. So
plays on a really great team. She's gonna get the winner bump on that. And also, like at some point, that's gonna change. There's no way. I don't think she's gonna stick around and shoot more 2s and 3s all season, or more 3s.
So the thing was, like, I think a lot of people, myself included, were predicting her to take like a step forward this year. Like, it's like, hey man, it's about time to make this your team. Like, are you gonna become the number one option? And I don't think it's gone like that. So everybody's kind of like, all right, you 27 this year, what's up? And then maybe I was under. I didn't think. Okay, she's a part of the guard revolution in the W, but I don't think that she is Caitlin Clark. No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I expect that to be led by Caitlin Clark at the forefront, and then, you know, we'll go from there. But, like, I think that she is kind of, how do I say this? I'm trying to give an example. I can't give an example off the top of my head right now, but, like, I don't think her game is going to change based off of the trends of where the league is going to be headed to over the next 5 years. I think her game is going to be what it is at this point. And then, like, maybe it'll be some adjustments to, like, the spacing, but that won't be until like she's not playing with John Quill and Brianna at the same time. I think playing with those two make it to where her game has to be a certain way more than actually, like, even if she wanted to change the way she plays.
Yeah. Brianna Stewart is shooting a whopping 16% from 3 this year so far.
It's been 8 games, right?
I don't know.
8 games, 9 games now?
Yeah.
That's
I don't know the attempts.
That's very cool.
Averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds. That's it. So, look, it's coming. Like, she just turned 30 this year. Stats are ticked down. The rebounding is usually one of the first thing to go. She was grabbing 8 boards a game last year, 8.5. She's grabbing 5.3 this year.
I haven't watched. I don't know where she's at on the floor now. So that's also part of that.
Yep. But I guess we can get it going and
ready to write folks off. You see it. I know y'all see it.
Look, man, I'm looking at these stats. I'm like, all right, it's coming.
It's 8. It's the first. It's a small sample size. It's like being like, hey man, they playing like shit the first 2 weeks of the NBA season. It's like, hey man, it's. Yeah, they're going to shoot 50%. Somebody going to shoot 50% all year. 2 weeks through the season. Like, nah, man, relax. Or 3 weeks through the season, relax. It's early.
You know what Lexi Hull is shooting from 3 before this game?
Is she shooting like 50%?
Shooting like 55% from 3 right now, which was like the end of last year. She was doing that too.
Yeah.
So first time chat notes J2 just recently started watching y'all. Love your podcast. The NBA and wrestling sessions are very entertaining. Y'all managed to leave after the young boy Joshua Smith and return before the young boy. Very inspirational. Looking like 2022 Tom Brady.
Wow. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Hopefully we see the young boy in action again shortly. So hopefully. But yeah, man, I guess we can wrap it up.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. That's the end of the show. If you are watching from the stream, be sure to go to the podcast show notes and go to the Red Circle link, and you can donate there. Also, go to our Chop. I said Chop. I almost said Chop Cheese. I stopped myself. Our Chop Tees store. You can buy One Nation Radio merch there. Be sure to listen to other shows in the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, AEW Match Generator, Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, Tunnel Talk, MSWD Adventure, and Wrestling Things with oh my god, Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Yeah. Later.
Peace.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.